we're going to do our intro here, and we always manage to, I don't know, flub it up and giggle.
Sometimes it takes a couple takes.
It does. But we can always go back and edit.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Missy. And this is You Should Meet My Friend. On today's episode of You Should Meet My Friend, we are visiting with my friend, Roxanne. I met Roxanne when we were both stationed in Belgium together. Along with her husband, Michael, they were instrumental in creating a squadron with a family feel. While everyone was looking at Mike because of his excellent leadership skills, Roxanne had her own story and superpowers. Roxanne has 3 sons, her youngest son, Seth, who will be 8 this coming week. Seth was born with Down syndrome, so Roxanne has found her calling as an advocate for Seth and many other kids and families. Roxanne is a moderator for one of the cultural groups, which is the Asian Families Group. She is responsible for creating posts for the DSDN app weekly, which she will explain that more, engaging in posts or comments and creating more connections with the families and spreading the word about the app and all the subgroups. This year, at a mom's retreat, she volunteered for the newcomers meetup. She checked off names and guided them to their tables. And she also told them a little bit about herself and what the retreat and DSDN means to her. Roxanne raises money all year long that benefit the many Down syndrome organizations that she loves and supports. She is also mother to the very sophisticated Sebastian, which is her dog, but her most loyal companion. And in her very spare time, she loves to modify her Ford Bronco, which I love seeing because being a boy mom, there's nothing she can't do. So with that, Roxanne, welcome to You Should Meet My Friend.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So first off, the acronym DSDN, explain that.
Yes, it stands for Down Syndrome Diagnosis Network.
Okay.
And it's a nonprofit organization, and their focus is to just connect families, try to give physicians and other people just a different outlook on like how to, when someone gets their diagnosis, to spin it positively and not ask if they want this child. They need to learn to be more supportive and just be more careful with their words because it's definitely an emotional time when you find out, and a lot of parents find out at birth. A lot of times they don't find out when they're pregnant and have a little bit of time to do some learning and meet other families and things like that. They are surprised, which I did have a prenatal diagnosis. So I knew that he had Down syndrome before we had him. And it was very difficult. And at the time, I didn't have that support. I was actually PCSing from Belgium to Hawaii, and my husband went to First Sergeant Academy in Alabama. So I was alone. I didn't have anybody. Yeah, I didn't have anyone. I was actually taking flights with my dog by myself, pregnant. And when I was pregnant, so I found out I was pregnant when I was still in Belgium, and there was some complications already, and I didn't know that he had Down syndrome yet. Not until I got to California. And then, so I didn't know, but I knew I was worried. I'm a bit older. It made me nervous that I didn't know if I was going to be able to carry this baby. It was scary at first. Not at first. It was scary the whole time.
Yeah.
Can I ask how old Seth is, just so we can place this in time?
Yes. So right now he's 7, but he turns 8 on Wednesday, the 22nd. So he has a birthday coming up.
Yeah.
But that wasn't in the scheme of medical care and awareness about Down syndrome. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. But the reason I didn't have the support, it was just because I didn't know where to go. I didn't hear about this organization until maybe I want to say it was when he was born, I found out. And in fact, I think one of the doctors at Tripler Army Medical Center said her friend had a baby with Down syndrome, and then they gave me the information to Down Syndrome Diagnosis Network, and I was like, oh, let me check this out. But with it being so emotional for me, at the time I shut everything out. I didn't accept things right away. It took me a while to cope with the diagnosis and with just not having a typical child. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was in for. And it took me a while to really get more involved and start advocating, just because I was pretty quiet at first. And I did let everybody know when I was pregnant he had Down syndrome. And then I, once I learned about this organization, it was actually really great because I met other moms who they basically have birth groups. So there's other moms who are in the same birth group. So their children are the same age as mine. And then we all go through the same things at the same time. It really depends on your child medically. And for Seth, he is very complex medically. It was a little hard and isolating because he had things that were different than a lot of the other kids. But what's good about this organization is that there's so many different subgroups. So there's groups for GI, tube feeding, vision, heart defects. And then there's cultural groups like the Black families, the Asian families, the Hispanic families, just to be more in your lane of whatever it is that for Seth, he needs vision. He was born with cataracts.
Wow.
Yeah. So he had surgery when he was only 6 weeks old for his eyes because we were told that he would be blind if he didn't have that because his cataracts was very dense and he had it in both of his eyes. From the beginning, from a newborn, he started having surgeries and it was just surgeries after surgeries from pretty much almost all of his life. There hasn't been, I think, there's probably been only very few years in between his 8 years where he didn't have a surgery.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started volunteering for DSDN. I will say the very first time I went to the mom retreat, I just went for myself, and I didn't know. It also took me 4 years to go to the first retreat. So they have a retreat every single year, and for the first 4 years, I couldn't go because of Seth's medical conditions. So it was hard. And I lived in Hawaii. It wasn't easy. I didn't work. My husband was always working. So it was very hard for me to get that opportunity to go and also to leave him was not easy. So the first retreat I went to for DSDN, I went for myself and I met with one of the moms who she has become my best friend. And I didn't even know her like in person yet, but we became very close. Her son is the same age as Seth. We're in the same birth group. And her and I became very close, but we finally got to meet when I went to my very first retreat, and that was in Texas. And then that one, I let loose and just had fun, but it was hard. I checked on Seth constantly through the night. I looked at his camera, just made sure. But it was such a great time. And it did help me take my mind off of everything. And I got to just, like I said, let loose and relax and meet all the other moms that I've known on through this organization. And there's hundreds, I think over 500 moms went that year.
Wow.
And it was amazing. So we got to go to this rodeo and we do group photos every year. And that everybody's so tiny because there was just so many people. And it was a great time. And the second time last year when I went, I was sick and it was in Las Vegas. So I tried to have as much fun, but instead of doing a lot with everybody, I was so sick. I just stayed in the room and just relaxed. Something I don't really get to do.
Right.
And that's what we're there for, to
Right.
to go and just do whatever, relax. And that was what I did. I didn't feel well anyways. And then this past year, I wanted to get more involved, and I volunteered for the newcomers, which was really sweet because a lot of the moms that go there and they're new, some of them don't know anyone at all. And when we were like, oh, are you new? Is this your first time here? Do you know anyone? And then we just try to make them feel comfortable because it can be intimidating. This year, I think there was about over 300 moms who came to the retreat. And a lot of times, they don't know anyone. So we just try to connect them with other people. So we put them together in these tables, and then we try to get them to talk and introduce themselves to one another and hopefully make a lifelong friend, like I've done with a lot of the moms that I've already met. And I met all kinds of new moms there this year by doing that. And I think after the retreat too, when I got back, I just got a ton of Facebook requests because I also was on the mom panel this year. So they asked me to be on the mom panel. And that was a new thing that they do. They haven't done it before. And I felt super honored to be on the mom panel, but it was so scary just sitting in front of 300 moms trying to discuss different topics about my child and what we go through and what we advocate for. And there's so much with schools, medical, just families even, because a lot of times even family doesn't understand really what's going on. And especially for us, we don't have family anywhere near. No one lives here. We came to Colorado and we have no family here. So we came here not knowing not one person, not anybody. But we chose to come here because they have a really great children's hospital. And I knew that I needed that support for him. And also, their therapy services are wonderful here. And not to mention so I do a lot of volunteering with DSDN, but the Colorado Springs Down Syndrome organization here, they're amazing. It's huge. And they've been an amazing support as well. I don't really volunteer for that. They have a lot of people who do stuff, but I do try to go to some events that they do. It's hard. Seth is very sensitive to people and noise. And so going a lot of places can be difficult when it's loud and noisy. And but I did just go to a Mother's Tea event this past weekend, and it was wonderful. I met these two moms who have one's just a newborn, and the other one is only 18 months. So I like to share the DSDN organization with them because I don't know where they are at in their journey, but I know that wherever you are at, it's so helpful. And they both have such different things going on. One's just a newborn, and I love it because she came and she didn't know anybody. And she sat next to me, and I was like, yes. I was so excited because I had never met her. And then she said she had a newborn, and I was like, I just love seeing little tiny babies. Seth is so big now. So I'm like, when I see the little newborn babies, I'm just like, bring him over. I just want to see them. They're just the cutest. Oh my gosh. I wish Seth was little again. He has opinions now, and and it's
because when I last saw him, he would still snuggle with people, and he liked me. So I feel very honored that he let me hold him, and which is not something that he necessarily always agrees with. So I was very honored.
Yeah, he does. Does still snuggle. I have to manipulate him a little bit, but but that's what happens, right? When the boys start growing up, they're like, Mom, stop.
That's right. And knowing you before, Seth, and knowing who you are now, I think it's a beautiful how you have, because I know before, Seth, you were an introvert, you were shy, you were still loving, but you were I don't know what the right word is.
I was private. I was private.
That's a great word. And knowing how private you were, and I think it's a beautiful thing that you're here today to share that, but also on your social media, you've made him a superstar. He's been on the big screen of
Yes, the
Times Square.
Jumbotron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jumbotron. So I just think that's a beautiful thing that he has brought that out in you. I think it's always been there. And I just want to applaud you because I know being here today and talking about your story is not always easy. And it is sometimes a very private thing. And there's lots of, what do I want to say, baggage, not your baggage. But I was thinking of the baggage from other people and from society and from
Yes.
the medical community and all of those hard things. I'm sure you've received the stupidest comments from people and medical advice and suggestions. And so I know that's hard. So I appreciate that you're trying to educate all of us on how we can do a better job. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
thank you. Yes, I was very private, and Seth definitely brought me out of my shell.
Yeah.
And I love sharing his journey. I feel like he's such an inspiration to me. So I know he could be an inspiration to everyone else. He has been through so much, and I love to share it because I also have all these other moms on my page who may have questions or need help or guidance, or they don't know what to do. And I don't give medical advice, but I do let them know. And in my experience, which with Seth, he's given me a lot of experience, especially with doctors, especially with military doctors, because at Tripler, it is a learning hospital. So I did get a lot of residents, and I was like, I need an attendee.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through that person anyways. Bring them here because my child's way too complex and I can't afford to try things out. It just didn't work that way with Seth. And it was just different. His situations were always different. And I always explained to the doctors, if I get a new doctor or whatever, I'm like, that's going to be different for Seth. It's not going to work the same way as other kids. Even if they have Down syndrome, it's not the same for him. And I know they probably think sometimes, and I do things in a way where I'm not pushy or demanding because I don't think that's the right way to get things done. I really just try to let them know about Seth and my experience with him when I'm trying new things, because they'll be like, oh, usually this is, how it goes. And I'm like, okay, if that's how it usually goes, it's not going to go that way for Seth. And I'm always right.
I bet you are. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am glad he definitely brought me out of my shell. And I love sharing everything about him. And I love, even with his school, he's a superstar at school. He does great at school, and I'm very happy. He loves going to school. With that, he doesn't walk. He's in a wheelchair. He walks in a walker, and he just needs to be guided because he is legally blind, but at the same time, he can see out of his right eye. So he does well enough, and he can walk, and he loves to walk, and he loves to ride, like, his wheelchair. He loves to move himself in his wheelchair too. He's just a little superstar though. He does everything, and I love that they love that about him too. He doesn't have any limits, and the school he goes to is wonderful. So I do always recommend to people like, hey, this is a great school. If you move to this area, you're really great with kids that need more attention, and Seth does. So I advocate for him at school, but I don't even have to that much just because they are really great.
That's awesome.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
And you are like always trying new things out with him. I love it. You're always like his bike, and you're always finding a bigger and a better bike. He just got a new bike not too long ago, I think, 'cause he's gotten so tall.
Yeah.
He's climbing steps, which
Yes.
opens up a whole nother can of worms with that. But that's a great, he's made so many, he's grown by leaps and bounds since you've been there in Colorado. It's great to see. And you're always pushing him and you're always making him do things he doesn't want to do. And you just have a great relationship with him, but you are not easy on him.
No.
And because you know it's best for him. So I love that you push him and that you don't think he has any limitations. And that's going to make him that much better off. Hats off to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
not even that
Yeah.
good with my kids. I'm like, oh, is that hard? Yeah, you should drop that. You know, with the other two, you're probably like, yeah, you're right. That's hard.
Yeah, no, I have to keep pushing him. And it's funny because I try to think of ways, just different ideas to get him to do. So instead of buying like a whole therapy thing, I try to put it together myself, right? Because it's
Good.
cheaper
Yes.
and therapy equipment is expensive. Or if I try to go through insurance to get it, it takes 6 months or longer. And the special needs community here is amazing as far as equipment and things. I just got him somebody was gifting another adaptive stroller. So I picked that up last week, but it didn't fit him well and he hated it. There you go. So there's another thing that I'm like, it doesn't work for him. So I'll pass it along to somebody else. But they do a lot of that here, just passing things along. And I pick it up and Michael's probably, oh my goodness, the garage is full of equipment. And actually right now it's all inside my living room because we just got new garage doors the other day. So we had to move everything out. So it's all right here. Is like I have 6 pieces of equipment all in the living room right here. It's crazy. And they're not small. They're big and heavy and there's and that's not even it. I have so much more. Like 2 in my car and it is so much.
Yeah.
I need a garage, like a 2-car garage just for Seth.
What he needs is he needs his own gym.
Yeah,
He needs his own building. You do such a good job setting up his bedroom and just his own therapy areas in your house. I'm just always, what? Now, what room is this in Roxanne's house? She uses every bit of space. Like back to the very beginning. So years ago, when Trevette was about 8, we found out he had epilepsy. And probably a lot like you, it was like, oh my God, oh no, he has epilepsy. Family and people were just like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And oh, he's going to be fine. It's something he's going to have to deal with. And he eventually outgrew it. But I didn't know anybody back then. And I wasn't as resourceful as you to, I guess, maybe educate myself about the community. And I think that's so important with anything. Guthrie had testicular cancer. And it's like trying to find a community of people that know what we're in and can give you advice or just comfort. I think it's so important. I wish I'd done a better job at doing that. So
there's definitely something magical about finding another person that is sharing your experience, even if ultimately you can't fix it for each other, but because you've shared that experience, it's just comforting to know you're not alone.
Yeah. Exactly. And it just becomes so meaningful and your friendships and relationships grow because of it. Like I said, my friend who became my best friend through the DSDN, her son is completely different than Seth. He's out there playing basketball and swimming and jumping in pools and doing all these. He talks and it's amazing to see. And that's another thing about these types of organizations and the community and searching for something like that when you need that support is because they all are different and they all you can relate. You can find someone too that has a similar situation and relate or goes through the same thing and relate. And then if you don't, you may just relate with the mom and be like, you and I are the same. Okay, great. That's awesome. It sucks that she doesn't live in the same state as me, but we talk every day. We FaceTime and
that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I want for other moms, especially who don't know, they don't know much. So as soon as I meet someone, I'm like, have you heard of DSDN? So I just told these 2 moms they hadn't heard of DSDN and I shared the app with them and I hope that they follow up and meet other moms, especially in their kiddos' age group, and become part of that community.
Yeah. And they're going to have a much better experience than you started out with. And I think that's part of it is you have to pay it forward and you have to make it a little better for the next mom. And I have had people over the years then that if they knew someone or their kid and it was like they would reach out to me and it's like now we have something else in common, not something that we wanted to have in common, but and I'm always happy to share if I've gone through something. And I keep those little things in my, hey, you're going through this. I have a friend that maybe can help you or yeah. So I think that's important. That's what community's all about. I want to be mindful of your time. I'm sure. Is he helping out with Seth?
I don't know. I'm sure he is. I can't hear anything else other than you guys.
Why are there flames behind you, Roxanne?
I think it's his feeding time, so he's probably feeding them right now.
Yeah. He was security forces. He can handle anything.
Yeah.
I do have one question before we get to our regular questions.
Okay.
And that is, what is one thing you wish the world would understand about your son or about anyone whose family includes someone that has Down syndrome?
I think the thing I wish the most is that they would realize they have feelings too. And you don't have to talk to them like a baby. If you're not a baby, don't talk to them like a baby. A lot of times they think because he's nonverbal, that he doesn't understand, and he does. And I think that's a lot of children or people who are nonverbal can understand. So that's what I wish that most people, because they just don't realize they have feelings too, and they have wants and needs, and you just have to treat them like everybody else.
That's great advice. Yeah. We asked you before we interviewed you here the same questions we ask all of our guests this season. And hopefully in a couple of weeks or months or whenever, we're so laid back here. We get to it when we get to it. We're really, it's low pressure here. But anyways, we'll get this edited and get it out to you. And then you can share it with people, with your friends in your community. But what is a quote, a Bible verse, or a mantra do you live by? It can be a few words or a bunch of words.
Yeah. So the one I live by now is the lucky few. So basically, that is a meaning that another mom who has a child with Down syndrome came up with, and just celebrating those who have a member or a friend with Down syndrome and that they feel lucky to have them in their life. And this is the little symbol. It's 3 arrows that point upwards, and there's 3 chromosomes, right? The 21st chromosome. And so it pretty much represents that.
Okay.
So this is like a trending tattoo that the Down syndrome community gets. So a lot of moms who will have this.
I like it.
Yeah.
And it's an unspoken. You never know. Somebody may see you out someplace and go, excuse me.
Yeah. I've seen pictures too. Somebody will post a picture of a decal on a car that has this, and they're like, who's this? Where are you? Oh, hey, Mom.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It is unspoken, but you will know it if you are part of it. The lucky few.
I like it.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, do you want to do this?
Sure. So what is a song or musician you put on blast when you're having a bad day and you need something to brighten your day?
Yeah. So I have a few different artists that I listen to right now, and this changes all the time. For me, I am very all over the place. It just really depends. But right now there's some new albums out. So I love the Justin Bieber album, the new one. I love the Taylor Swift album.
Yeah.
And I love Morgan Wallen.
Oh, yeah.
But everything's going to change in a couple weeks to Christmas music. So I am going to be Christmas music out. I'm just going to be blasting it because that truly makes me super happy.
So all my music is randomized. I just hit shuffle. And I had a friend that used to call me, used to tell me that was the spirit because he was like, your music is so random. And even Chris's, there'll be some like AC/DC, and then there'll be like a Christian song, and then there'll be like Taylor Swift, and then there'll be jazz or rap.
Same. I know,
yeah.
same. Yeah, it's all over. I'm all over the place. And
Oh.
Seth loves classical music.
I was
So
gonna ask-
he loves classical music. So when he's in the car, I blast classic. Like I pick him up from school, we put on classical music, and he's like, he sings it. He loves it. He raises his hands, and he's just, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Music is just, oh.
I know, right? When you feel it.
So what is a food or a smell that invokes a good memory?
Pine is my favorite. So
I love Christmas.
I just love Christmas. Yep. I can smell pine all day, every day, for all year long. It's my favorite smell. So definitely like Fraser fir pine is my favorite.
I am inclined to tell people to bug off when they complain about Christmas being in the stores too soon.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And I'm like, I would rather it be Christmas all year long than whatever else is going on.
Yeah. I told Michael, I said, the reason why they have it so early is because if they had it later, then like everyone's Christmas shopping and it's going to be too crazy. They have to have it earlier. Yeah. That way you can prepare and decorate, and then everyone's going to go Christmas shopping for gifts. It only makes sense that they have it earlier so you can prepare for it. Yeah, and Hobby Lobby has it 50% off when it's early. So I'm like, yeah.
Are you a multi-Christmas tree house?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I am a Hallmark crazy Christmas lady here. And my husband's, you are insane. I have very tall ceilings in my living room. So my tree is 12 feet tall. It's super tall. And I make my husband put it together and put the lights on it for me. And I'm like, that's perfect. But nice. Yes, I have Christmas trees in every single room.
That's awesome. Does Seth like Christmas? Is he enamored by all the lights? And
he does. Yes, he does like the lights. He's like a moth. So he loves light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that he is so drawn towards the TV too. And you're like, Seth, you need to have your nose on the TV. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I had to move the TV. Oh, he was getting crazy. He started climbing on his thing and oh boy, trouble. Here it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Christmas too. My house is not as big as yours, and I can only really have one tree, but I did buy a bigger one just so it would take up more room.
Yeah.
And I have to rearrange things, and you have to, I don't know, stuff that is really awkward. But
it's definitely part of putting up the tree is rearranging the furniture to make room for it.
And then when you take it down, it's like everything is just empty and it looks so odd.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We are still a live Christmas tree family, but we often argue when picking out the tree because I always want like the 14-foot tall one, and Greg's like, you're going to chop off the bottom 4 feet. It's not going to fit.
And in other times, I've been a multi-tree house because we would have a live one and then a fake one. And the reason being, I turn on the Christmas tree and I never turn it off until I take it down. So it's on continuously. I just love the glow.
Yes.
I love the feel. And so I couldn't do that with a real Christmas tree because I would forget to water it and I didn't want to burn my house down. So we always had 2 trees, and the real tree, just the lights turned on when we were awake. But yeah, once Christmas, lights on and leave it on. Okay, Elizabeth.
What organization do you support that you'd like to share with our listeners?
So basically, the organization is called DSDN, Down Syndrome Diagnosis Network. So I've been sharing it this whole time, but I would love from more and more moms who have kiddos with Down syndrome to join it.
Yeah. And how can the rest of us support DSDN?
You do. And whenever you donate to my fundraiser, and the fundraisers are to help, they give like little newborn gifts to the families. It helps with medical like care cards. It also helps with people who have lost their little one with Down syndrome, they'll send a gift to them. It helps fund these mom and dad retreats. So there's also a dad retreat. My husband has not gone, but they do have a dad retreat, which is growing. It's growing every year. This past year, I saw that it was huge, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
I wish Michael would go, but he's way more introvert than I ever was. So I don't think he'll go. And plus, he hates traveling. He's like, if I don't ever have to travel again, I won't. But yeah, it really helps provide all the things for the retreats because they do have speakers and events. They will have like food for us. They'll have a medical outreach that come like this past retreat. My Seth's doctor, his eye doctor, was there speaking. Oh. So that was really cool. It was like, hey, you're here. That's great. So it helps with those types of things and just getting. It's not just all fun. It's definitely it provides so much support for so many different things.
As you said too, the conferences can be where you go get connected, but the conference could also be not an excuse, that's the wrong term, but it can be a chance for a caregiver to just have a couple of days off.
Yeah, to have a couple of days off. Some moms go just to do nothing. They don't even have to go to any of the meetings that they have there. That you can do whatever it is you want to do. It's up to you. You're not obligated to do any of activities that they plan, but they are fun. They have a beach party, which I didn't go to the beach party. Instead, we did, I don't know, a couple mile walk around this big lake in the dark. Oh. Yeah, it was scary because it got dark and we were in Georgia and there was just all these pine trees and it was like, I was like, oh, this is getting scary. Let's get back.
But then you remember that smelled like Christmas. So then you
I know, right?
But I do hope that you feel like society is moving in the right direction and making the necessary changes and improving all the time and learning more so that moms, parents, caregivers, I hope we're always doing better.
It really has grown and I do feel like this time in life and society, like it was like a great time to have Seth because it is more inclusive nowadays, where back 20 years ago or whatever, it wasn't. And I love how inclusive it is. And you will see a lot more people with Down syndrome nowadays because they're not put in like homes or whatever, care facilities. Now they know like they can do so much more. You just had to be there to support them, but they didn't know that back then. They just thought they weren't capable, and they're very capable.
Yeah. One last question. It's twofold. I do have a question to ask you because I saw you post a video from her also. But what friend do you have with an interesting story to share who we should interview next?
Oh, gosh. I have so many people I can think of. But the one that came to my mind when you asked that is probably my friend Rosie. And she's probably like, me?
They all say that.
I know. And I never mentioned her. I didn't mention this to her, but she's amazing. Her daughter has special needs and she doesn't have Down syndrome. But I did meet her here and she just has an incredible story. And she is a single mom. And it's hard. And a single mom of 3 young ones and does it all by herself. And she's here with no family, so it's just not an easy thing. I can't imagine doing this by myself without my husband. And that's just one kid. She's got 3. I'm like, whew, girl. Yeah. I just think she's incredible. She's an incredible mom.
Get us her info. But I also wanted to ask you about Amy's coloring book.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't mention this whole time that October is Down Syndrome Awareness and Acceptance Month. So I advocate very hard during October. I do all year long, but October is just a very special month. It's got a lot going on. Seth's birthday too. And Amy's coloring book is so cute. So she is one of the volunteers for DSCN also. I think she does one of the birth groups, or I can't remember which group she does, but she's created by hand. And she's also an amazing person to interview as well. I can also get you her info. She created these images by hand, but she asked other parents and of all ages for their kiddos with Down syndrome to send them a picture. And she hand drew all these pictures and created the cutest. So she's got 2 out and they're both on Amazon.
Okay.
And they're the cutest coloring books. And so last year, Seth got to be in her second coloring book. And it was just so cute. I sent that page to his school, and his teacher printed it out for all the kids to. Actually, I gave her a book, the whole coloring book. I bought her a coloring book, and she printed the page out and had all the kids color Seth's page, and then gave it to us. And it was just the cutest thing. So I spread it all out on the table and I took a picture of it. And I just thought this was amazing. It was one of the great ways to spread awareness for Down syndrome to other kids. I love the age group right now too. They're so welcoming and they all love Seth so much in his general ed class. So it's just a really cool book. And they're all, like I said, they all have different things going on. So Seth was like in a walker. There'll be one that has oxygen. There'll be one that has a G tube, or different things and abilities that each of the kids in her coloring book has. And it's just showing the differences in all different ages. It's just the cutest thing. I love her idea. It was really
cool. Where can somebody get an Amy's amazing coloring book?
Yeah, so they're on Amazon. But I don't remember the title of it right now.
Okay.
Oh, it's not called Amy's Amazing Coloring Book? That's what I was Googling. Yeah, of course it makes sense. Oh, still rocking it. Okay.
Still rocking it.
I think this is the one Seth is in. I think this was her second edition. The first one's probably called Rockin' It.
Oh, okay.
The second one's called Still Rockin' It. Yeah.
I love it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, thank you for mentioning that October is Down Syndrome Awareness and Acceptance Month, because when I texted you both, I was like, oh, we got to do it this month, even though we may not get around to editing it and posting it until next month. But I just was like, that's just such a cool thing. And then his birthday is this month too.
I'm always work best on a deadline. So maybe we'll make Elsa do podcast episode and we can make Roxanne's episode the first one, and I could probably get it done before the end of the month.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you so much. If there's anything else you want to share, by all means do. But this means a lot to me because I know you and I wouldn't say reconnected, but we did reconnect just as Seth was being born. Like, he was only a couple months old.
Yeah.
And watching you and him both grow and just break down barriers. You're near and dear to my heart, Roxanne.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. And I appreciate you helping me spread the word and ESDN and just Down syndrome and everything. It means a lot to me.
You're welcome. Yeah. And we will definitely share this with hopefully all of our listeners, and then you can share it, and hopefully people can support you and all these causes.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have a good Sunday.
Okay, you too.
You give Seth a little.
Great to meet you, Roxanne.
It was good to meet you too. Thank you so much. And I saw your team was winning, Missy. So I hope they won, or they're still winning.
I didn't mention that you're a Raiders fan, so I didn't include that. But yes, I just got a score update, and they weren't showing the game here anyway. You're more important than the Colts, but I can always catch it later. But yeah,
they were winning when I last looked. So
yeah. I think they still are.
Okay, good.
But thank you for that, Roxanne. That means a lot to me too.
You're welcome.
Okay. Tell Mike I said hi and give Seth a hug. Okay.
I will. Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
All right,
bye, Roxanne.
Bye-bye. Wow, what an incredible lady.
Isn't she?
Really
She's
incredible.
So neat. Yeah.
And I guess I like that sometimes when you meet someone so positive, I appreciate the fact that she said that she didn't feel this way about her situation when Seth was first born.
Yeah.
And so it took her a little while to get there. And now that she's there, she's doing all she can for the community, which I think is really fabulous.
And that's a really honest assessment of anybody, I think. When you're going through it and initially you're just like, why me? And all these doubts and insecurities, and you're mad at the world and you're mad at God and all these things. And then I think we all, okay, this is the cards I've been dealt. And she's handled that so well. And then not even just dealing with it, but she showcases what she goes through and she shares the good and the bad. She really should probably write a book or start a podcast herself, because she did. For somebody who started out private, she shares it because she wants people to know that everything that Seth has had to endure, and he's still rocking it in a coloring book and everything.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Well, it just seems to be a recurring theme in my life lately, is just if you're given an opportunity to find someone who has a similar experience, it just seems to divide in half, and even more than half, how challenging it feels to you if you know there's somebody else that's, I know where you are, I got you.
And also, it's your duty that when you hear that somebody else is going through the same thing that you went through, I feel like I'm obligated to reach out to them and say,
absolutely.
I can share with you my experience and you can take it or not take it. I know that when we were in the midst of Guthrie, like he hadn't even had surgery yet and we were with him, I understand Roxanne's like tendency to be private about those things, because you'd be surprised. You get people that are like, oh, it was probably caused by this, or it was probably, or he should eat this, or he should try this supplement or whatever. And it just wasn't the time or place. And I had this moment where I just was like, I can't talk to anybody because it was just all so overwhelming. Even the good ones, even the kind of the overly positive kind of just, I don't know. Was like daggers to me when I was in the trench.
Yeah. People's intentions are good. Their advice on how to fix your problem sometimes is it's not helpful.
No. And I think
especially because in her situation, this is just not a solvable problem. No. It's just going to be a challenge Seth's whole life.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so important about her message is not that Seth needs to be fixed. Her situation cannot be fixed. It can't be changed, but she can change how people perceive Seth and how they think of him and how they think of people like him. And to me, I think that's amazing because she is changing things. She is making positive changes for him and people like him. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you for letting me invite her on. And I'm so proud of her.
No, I don't ever want you to think that any person you suggest you have to ask my permission or anything like that. But I think that she would probably describe herself in very humble terms, and that's where we're coming from. This whole project is about convincing our extraordinary friends that they are actually extraordinary.
Right. I said to a friend that sits behind me in church, and she's writing a parenting book, and she has kids, smaller, younger kids. And I said to her, hey, Leslie, I want you to be on my podcast. And she was like, why me? I'm not exciting. I'm not extraordinary. And I'm like, yeah, you are. So it is. It's convincing these people. And I'm going to have to talk to Leslie because she is doing some things in the community that they're different. They're cool. Probably things I didn't think to do. And yeah, so we have some pretty amazing friends. So
we do. I have to tell you something funny though. Last time we talked, we wrote down like a whole list of guests that we needed to reach out to. I'm almost out of this notebook, so I went to put our list in my new notebook, and half these names, I'm like, who is that again? I'll have to sort through them.
I'll be gone next weekend. We're going to see Guthrie. And probably the next email I'm going to send out between you, me, and my friend Heidi would be suicide awareness and the fact that she has started her own podcast blog. It's more of a blog.
Well, that answers one of my questions because I looked at this list. I'm like, Heidi. Who's
Heidi. Yeah,
Well,
that's
the
not
reason why
Heidi.
I don't remember who Heidi is because she's your friend.
So I'll send out an email at some point. And okay, you have a good rest of the evening, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
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 Bye.
Bye.
Find us at facebook.com/YSMMF podcast and Instagram at YSMMF podcast for episode announcements. Thanks.